Welcome everyone at the Kaboom Animation Festival 2021 at our series of talks with the filmmakers. And I have a great pleasure to invite to our studio this time the most influential short film animator of last 25 years, Theodore Ushev. He made more than 15 films and he got more than 200 awards. And we're gonna discuss with him about one of his last films, which is screened at our festival. Let me invite Theodore to our studio. Hi, Theodore, welcome. It's nice to see you.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Nice to see you, hear you virtually.
Yes, still virtually. I really hope that very soon, we're gonna see each other in person as well. So let me start with like a one note. You said once that the best films are first felt by the heart and later on understood by the brain. So I was wondering if that's one of the reasons why you choose as a base for your film the novel, the art of the Gospodinov, of one of the most popular Bulgarian writer.
I've chosen it because the book touched me when I read it. And when I read it, it was in one night. I immediately saw it as an animated film. And after that, I just started developing my own film because I always want to make my personal films, no matter what topic or kind of technique I use. So yes, the reason of that the book is touched me deeply was the reason to start this project. It was so long ago, almost maybe 8 years, it was like past since I first started working on that film.
I was born in the winter of 1968 in Bulgaria, in a world full of hope. I remember the year 1968 in detail, from start to finish. The revolution, the Prague Spring, the Russian tanks.
I have always been born.
I was born as a fruit fly 2 hours before sunrise. I'll die this evening after sundown. I still remember the beginning of the Ice Age and the end of the Cold War. In both epochs, the sight of the dying dinosaurs is one of the most unbearable things I have seen. I remember being born as a cranberry shrub, as a nightingale, as a ginkgo biloba, a cloud in July, an early cherry blossom frozen by a late April snow.
Yeah, but I've read also that this novel was sold out in, I think, two weeks in Bulgaria, and it was like 7,000 copies. So what do you think is the reason why he's so incredibly influential in Bulgaria? And not only?
I don't know. He's a very good writer first. He has this ability to catch the zeitgeist. Actually, I didn't read the book when it went out. I read it much later. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. He has this ability. He puts the words in the same way as I do my drawings. He puts them with his heart, mainly. He's very honest in his writings, and that's why. And we are good friends, so that's why probably I love working with friends.
Yeah. I think we all do.
I also love talking with friends and working with friends, and it's much more easier like that. Every single person that I work with is a friend of mine. My producer, the sound designer, the musicians that I work.
Because I was sometimes thinking if your memory have a soundtrack, you know? If you have like this feeling that every time you think about past, that each moment from your life had certain song as a background, or like?
No, it's part of my director's vision. It's not always like that. It should be very nice, but it's connected somehow. But I develop. I change quite fast my musical musical taste. I love different things in different periods of my life. So what I put in my films reflects my current taste and mood. Mm-hmm. It's always connected with the memories as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty surprising because your images are very powerful, but the music is pretty dominant in your film. Do you are playing with this duo, but the music is pretty powerful. So do you like the fact that sometimes it's taking over the story? And
oh yes, for me the music is the story. For me the music is much more important than the words. Actually, when I use a text, I use it as music, as a sound. The text itself, it's only part of the poetry, because for me, the animation is the poetry of cinema. So that's how I use the text.
A list of my collections. Little plastic soldiers, badges, commemorative matchboxes, Western movie photos, marbles, BB Turkish bubblegum wrappers, a collection of pictures of cars from those bubblegum wrappers. All these things stayed in the family home when I immigrated to Montreal. No childhood artifact or memory crossed the ocean. I started a new, object-free life, an abstract existence.
For me, the text is just an abstract background of the action and the cinema. First is the music, after that is the image, and after that comes everything in that order.
Mm-hmm. And it was the same order in case of Physics of Sorrow. So first you had the yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
always when I start the film, I do like a very thoroughly prepared animatic with all the scenes, and I put immediately the music. So it's always connected. It stays almost until the end the same thing. So the music that you hear, I got it in my head from the beginning. It was the story changed, the music didn't.
Yeah, but then I think your in your head it's very musically messy and eclectic, because the mixture of the music which you put in this particular film, but not only in all your films, is so eclectic. So
I like the eclecticism, but all my films are eclectic. The Physics of Sorrow, it has some eclecticism it is as well, and every film that I do is a different style and different technique, so it corresponds with my tastes. I think I like different things. It's very funny. I was listening to your conversation about the Czech illustration. I love Czech illustrators as well. I have hundreds of books. I was just watching one of them. Probably you're gonna recognize it. See that one? Do you recognize those illustrators?
Yeah, yeah. But I think
it's Dusan Kawa and Kamila Stanklova. And I have all the books illustrated by Adolf Born. I love Adolf Born as well. So that's my eclectic style.
I see that. It is like
just connecting with the previous conversation.
Yeah. I think we should. Exchange some books from our shelves. Because I can give you some books with my Czech illustrator, and then you can give me some tips about your favorite. Yeah. Okay. This is the deal for when we're gonna meet in person. Okay, but. Now I have to make a very big switch, because going back from the Czech illustrators to the Physics of Sorrow, this is the huge challenge, I would say. No, but let me do it. You mentioned that.
No, it's not. Listen, it's not a challenge. You pushed this memory button in my head, so I reacted immediately. It's like this, Actually, when I was little, I was going to and buying more Czech books with Czech illustrators than Bulgarian ones. So this is what built my taste for images, and I think that you can see it in my films somehow.
Yeah.
So I was always my teachers were the Polish the Polish poster designers and artists and the Czech illustrators, not the Bulgarian ones. So it's part of my childhood.
Yeah,
and my education.
From the actually poster designers, I would say Stasis is so not Polish actually, but Stasis is one of my favorite. But yeah, with the designers of posters,
Stasis is the best.
Oh my God, I was just so in love with this guy, like for all my whole life. Okay, yeah. But you know, you are absolutely right, because this is exactly how the memory works. And this is like a fluid mosaic of this, like a glimpses from all over the place. And actually, your film is exactly like this. So I think if we're gonna do this, we are just like recreating the process of making physics of sorrow right now. Yeah,
exactly. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
So now you see how my brain works.
Okay, but then
I cannot change it.
I just have one question then, because I see how it works. But then, how did you found for this like a crazy mixture of thoughts, music, this technique? Because you invented it, so you found completely like a new technique to to reflect upon the process of thinking and process of memory.
Well, the technique existed since 22 centuries. It was used by Egyptians.
You reinvented.
And they used it. The reason I used it was fully conceptual. They were making the portraits, the famous Fayum portraits. They were putting on the sarcophagus and making portraits with encaustic. So that's how those portraits and the faces of the people buried into the sarcophagus by Egyptians stayed until now. That's what I wanted to do with my film. I wanted to make a sarcophag of my generation, not only of my life. Because with Gospodinov, we were born on the same year, just a few weeks apart. So yeah, that's why I used this technique for absolutely conceptual reason. I didn't know it at the beginning. It was a nightmare. Actually, my father gave me the recipe, and the first 3 weeks it was like I was like, oh my God, I won't be able to make this film because it's very difficult to make it. But after the third week, I started to get used, and at the end, I was like doing 60 pictures a day, which is a pretty big number for making animation.
Yeah, I was thinking actually when I was watching it, but also like generally that because art is such a great way of actually preserving things, and like animation and your films are like the best example of it. But sometimes I'm just thinking like, isn't it like a bit ridiculous, that we try to preserve these things for the future, and that in the future our artifacts, our like objects which are around us can have completely different meaning?
It's okay. That's what the art is about. There is always different meaning. I'm not sure that anything will be left after us. Everything is so ephemeral that everything is going to disappear one day, even the earth. Not to talk about the ridiculous short animated films or the art. So I don't think about this at all. I just I create the films for the momentum. Actually, for me, the most important part is the producing the film, the painting of it. It's much more interesting for me than watching it or talking about it. For example, for me, it's like the momentum of creating the film is the most important in my life. That's when I feel like the full happiness, like when I paint.
I told myself, big deal. She's not the first. She won't be the last.
Night is young and so am I, and we can dress real neat from our hearts to our feet and surprise them with a victory cry. Say we can act if we want to, if we don't, nobody will. And you can act real blue,
Yeah, is it like a repeating process every time you make a new film, that there's like a joy and happiness is like connected with the artistic project and process?
Always. Yeah, always.
Wow. Okay,
That's
so
why I do my films. It's like a therapy.
yeah.
You know, I escape the world with my films.
Yeah, and
this is what saves me now. You know, since the beginning of these lockdowns and pandemic, I did 3 short non-narrative experimental films. I shot my first live action film. Now I'm starting 2 new animated films. So it's always like this process of creation. It's like part of my nature.
it's like I think this metaphor of Minotaur in your film, it's in the lockdown time even more powerful, because it's of course it can be a reflection upon our lives, but also so much like now when you feel that there's just no tomorrow, like we are like so trapped. But then, do you think that there is a way out from darkness?
On the Minotaurs, yeah, we are all like a Minotaurs those days. Of course, that there is a way. The only way is that you accept that you are a Minotaur and just wait Theseus to appear and fight with him. That's the only way, and feel happy with what you are. You know, in many times of in my life, I lived as a Minotaur. For me, it's not a new. It's not a new situation. I was born in a communist country where we are pretty much like Minotaurs, closed borders, the same as we are today. I remember or hiding when I was in the army, because I was. The army was obligatory when I was in Bulgaria. And then I was hiding like in a house just to hide myself from the reality outside. So it's not new for me to be a Minotaur. Actually, when you're a Minotaur, you think and your brain is working like you invent new things. It's the moment to recreate yourself, to restart, to reinvent yourself. I profited. I love it. I love this situation actually right now, because it's like you are analyzing your whole life and what you do.
Okay, I think this is a great end of our conversation, because I wish everyone that during the lockdown they're gonna come up with like a new solutions for their lives and new hopes for it, and maybe some like a little bit of happiness at the end. So yeah,
it's
Theodore,
inevitable. No little bit of happiness, a lot of happiness.
okay, taking that back right now, I wish all the visitors of Kaboom Animation Festival a lot of happiness together with Theodore Ushev. So Theodore, thank you so much for this talk and for bringing light in the studio, and hope to see you very soon in person. Take care and see you soon.